coconut tree isn't just landscape in Sri Lanka. Our island and our culture is essentially built entirely around it. You see it in the very fabric of the island and the different uses and the gifts that the coconut tree gives us. From the thatched roofing, which gives us shelter, to the coconut oil and the coconut milk, which goes into our food, is fundamental to our diet and our food culture, down to the spoons that we use to serve our food. Another interesting thing is the fibers from the husks, which we make rope with. The same rope that the toddy tappers will use to go from one tree to the other to collect the sap of the coconut. Its uses are many. The most human element surrounding Ra is undoubtedly the toddy tapper. This is a centuries-old craft which we're able to now showcase to people from all across the globe, and actually to Sri Lankans also. First ever mentions that we know of come from El Million with Marco Polo, where he mentions locals drinking tree wine or something to that extent. So we know this process has been happening in the country for centuries. It's a dying art, a dying heritage, passed down from father to son. The process of tapping a coconut flower is an art form, one that the toddy tappers have extensive knowledge in. They need to really understand each tree, understand its branches, understand what they can yield from it. And it's a daily process of tendering to it. You'll scale up one tree and then you'll be collecting or harvesting toddy from an existing flower while using a toddy tapper's tools, which is a mallet generally made out of tamarind wood, to bruise and slightly manipulate each flower to get it ready to secrete toddy. Once this is collected in a clay pot, it is then lowered down and then collected in a bigger vessel called a labukete, and then the toddy is essentially ready to be drunk at that point. Toddy, or Ra, is this incredibly magical liquid that's really been given to us by the gods. Even at the time of harvesting, you can see the bees and the butterflies surrounding the clay pot on the flower, and it drip by drip collects the sap. This sap is so incredible, in fact, that it can be drunk immediately, but in about 24 hours, magically and completely naturally ferments up to about 7% alcohol. At this point is when it's ready to be distilled and turned into arak. So at Ra, you will see the influence of the coconut tree in all its forms in every corner of the space. Starting with the coconut roof to the pillars that the roof stands on, which are actual coconut trees, to the bar top, which is made out of coconut wood, and the bar frontage, which is made out of coconut shells, which have been specifically cut for that purpose. Throughout the furniture, the chairs, the tables, all made from coconut wood. Every drink at Ra is based around arak, which is the distilled sap of the coconut tree, which is distilled toddy, is at the heart of the drinks philosophy at Ra. We use arak, we use fresh toddy, and we use elements of coconut in all its forms, from coconut sugar to coconut treacle to coconut milk to coconut oil. All of these different elements make up the drinks at Ra. The food at Ra is a celebration of traditionally cooked Sri Lankan food. Taking it back to how food was made in the villages by our grandparents, or all the spices for the curry powder are dried at the restaurant itself, at Ra itself, and ground to make atunapa. The slow cooking process, wood fire and clay pots, which give this really distinguishable flavor, using our staples of coconut milk, coconut oil, and bringing back traditional methods of cooking and preserving. So for the longest time, there wasn't enough celebration of our own local food and drinks happening. With our own cooking, with our own drinks. So now to come together and be a part of something which is now pushing this idea and these narratives, making us all comfortable and confident in our own traditional food and our local spirit, that's something great to be a part of.